So hi everyone, hope you're doing well, staying well and safe, staying positive mind or keeping a positive mind, calm mind. So we're going to do the chanting straight away and obviously the meditations and then the Dharma talk on the commentary on the Universal Loving Kindness Sutra or the Karaniya Metta Sutta. So be mindful, aware, conscientious, let go of the past. Don't worry about the future. Just be in the present. Namo Tassa Bhagavato ArahatoSammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato ArahatoSammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato ArahatoSammaSambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Ayata Om Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Om Gate Para Samgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata gate gate para samgate bodhi soha. So now we can get ourselves ready for meditation. And just remember that chanting, is for the purpose of absorbing our mind with these aspirations or wishes, with these teachings, because within every word of the prayers, you could call them the prayers or the verses, there is teachings, or there are teachings in there. And so we want to absorb the mind with these teachings, these immaculate, these precious teachings. And we utilize our body and our verbal abilities to help us to do so. So it's not just making a sound, even though the sounds are most likely nice, unless somebody doesn't like Buddhism or something, maybe not so nice then. But basically, we make nice sounds, presentable at least, and we utilize the body, keep the body upright, and so that we can breathe all the way into our lungs and out again. And but the mind is the chief, so it's the mind that we are purifying, utilizing our body and our speech. So now bring the mind inside the body, and we will release whatever tension we can from the body right now. All the way from the bottom of the body to the top. From your toes up to your shoulders, down to your fingers, then up to the top of your head. So we'll take a few moments to do this now. And once this is complete, scan your body briefly, just once more, just to see if you've left any tension there and you can release it. Now bring your mind to your breathing. Place your mind on the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out. Your nose all the way into your lungs and then back out again. Keep your body nice and relaxed, but not slouching or lazy. Mind and the body help each other to remain upright in the sense of virtuous, good intentions. So breathing in your nose all the way into your lungs, then back out your nose again. If thoughts arise or any other mental activity arises, don't cling to it. Don't grasp at it. Also, don't try to forcefully push it away or deny it. But just let it go naturally by refocusing on your breath, replacing your mind on the breath. That is the antidote to the agitated or distracted mind. And it is also the antidote to the dull mind. So if our mind starts to become dull or sleepy during the session, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing your mind onto your breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence now for a few minutes. So now we can feel very pleased with ourselves for engaging in this. Fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. You can just use the feeling of this loving kindness, or you can utilize some visualization, some white light filling your body that represents this universal loving kindness, or white nectar. Up to you. Remember that this metta is a multifaceted word. When you translate to English, it includes universal love, kindness, of course, all based on equanimity, having a mind that is non-biased, friendliness, non-violence, non-aggression, harmlessness, honesty, forgiveness, acceptance. Very important qualities. Come under the banner, you could say, or the umbrella of metta. Actually, metta and karuna, or universal loving kindness and universal compassion. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards, initially to your loved ones, family and friends, and fills them also with universal loving kindness. Brings them happiness, frees them from suffering, resulting in them being at peace. And also include strangers, those that you are different towards. Fill them with the universal loving kindness too. And may they also be happy, free from suffering, and be at peace. And now also even those that you may regard as enemies or have an aversion towards for whatever reason. May all of these people have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may they be at peace. Now this universal loving kindness gathering more momentum as you radiate it further and further. Now include all of those living beings that are around your immediate area. The ones that live on the land, even under the land, fly through the air, in the waters, and now also radiate further this loving kindness throughout your whole state or county, and towards all of the living beings that abide here. And other states and counties throughout your whole country. The innumerable living beings. You can't even fathom counting them, the amount of that there are. We now extend this loving kindness to all of them. Wish that they're happy, free from suffering, and peaceful. And other countries throughout the whole world. Initially those you're familiar with and have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those that you may have an aversion towards. Till your loving kindness pervades the whole planet. And other planets throughout the whole solar system. And other solar systems throughout the galaxy. And other galaxies throughout the universe. till your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space, benefiting initially yourself, but also all of the innumerable living beings, this immeasurable loving kindness. Whilst also being present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. So I hope you feel nice now. You're full of loving kindness. And all of those around you are also full of loving kindness. And even if it doesn't appear like this, actually we all have the potential to realize this. Of course, we all have the potential to realize unsurpassed supreme enlightenment of a Buddha, realize our true enlightened nature. So how would it not be possible for universal loving kindness to also be possible for all beings, even the nastiest of beings, for them to realize this? Have to realize this, or I should say, generate this universal loving kindness as part of the path to realizing our true enlightened nature. So as you know, we're having commentary on the Karaniya Metta Sutta, or the Buddha's words on universal love and kindness. Once again, I'd remind you that there are many words we can use for this, because this word metta is very closely related to the word mitra, which means friend. So it includes friendliness, goodwill, good intentions. And so obviously the opposite of those, it does not include. So it doesn't include harm, being harmful and so forth. And so today I thought we've been coming up to this point of having an overview of the whole sutra, which we probably take this week and next week to complete. And then we'll get into the different aspects of the sutra. First of all, of course, the morality aspect, the meditation aspect, and the wisdom aspect, which of course relates to the Eightfold Path as well. And then we will actually go into each, you could say, phrase or word or group of words to express what they actually mean. So it'll take a little bit of time, nowhere near as long as the 6 parameters, of course. That took about 9 months, but I'd say maybe a couple of months for us to go through this in detail with such short classes. And today I would like to talk about the morality, the meditation, and the wisdom parts of the sutra. And then also remind you that true universal love and kindness, genuine love and kindness, as well as genuine, true compassion, and also empathetic joy, has to be based on a mind of equanimity. Of course, we may not have this equanimous mind right now. We do have biases. As when we practice the loving kindness meditation, we initially radiated outwards to our loved ones. These are the beings that we have an attachment towards. And then, of course, to those that we're indifferent towards, and then to those that we have an aversion towards. And it's likewise the extra detail that I put in there related to the different countries throughout the world. We have this bias right now, but we should work calmly, but also diligently towards freeing our mind from these bias states, this attachment, this aversion, and even the indifference. Because indifference and non-attachment are very different. Okay, so indifference kind of means you don't really care. You don't really think about it. If you don't care about a living being or some living beings, don't think about them, you cannot develop universal love and kindness towards them. or for them, or compassion and the others too. So we try to free our mind from this bias. So of course, equanimity has to be based on wisdom as well. Of course, the supreme wisdom is what makes everything perfect, you could say, or immeasurable, another way to put it. Of course, the whole Dharma path, we can actually speak about the whole Dharma path within the 3 higher trainings of morality, meditation, and wisdom. These also include the 4 immeasurables of universal love and kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity as well. And you could also put in the 6 paramitas, and even up to the 10 paramitas, up to becoming enlightened. Okay, so this the whole Dharma path can be spoken within these. Okay, so it's really important that we get to know these teachings, even if you only for a period know them by their titles, sort of the short form: right understanding, right view, I should do the same thing, right intention, thoughts, right speech, action, and so forth. You know, just know them like that so that you can recall that and then contemplate on what it is they actually mean and then put it into practice. The practice is very important. I once again remind you that we need to have this purpose. We need to know the methods on how to achieve our purpose of enlightenment, for instance. And then we need to actually implement these methods to actually put them into practice. Okay, so I think that's enough for that. So morality, I mentioned to you last week or the week before that with the poem or the song, I've actually grouped it into 4 verses, though I seem to recall that I think it's 10 verses, though I could be corrected with that, in the Pali version. And so we'll stick with the formula that I have with the song or the poem. And the first verse relates predominantly to morality. The second and third verses relate predominantly to meditation, absorbing our mind with this universal love and kindness. And the 4th verse relates predominantly to wisdom, to insight. And I say predominantly because I will remind you that the Eightfold Path, for instance, fold. That word fold means that everything is folding into each other. So everything is intermingling. All of these different aspects or details of the Dharma path actually intermingle with each other. They're not separate at all. Okay, so that's why I say predominantly, because within the morality part, of course, there is the meditation. Of course, there is the wisdom. And of course, throughout all of the parts, there is the universal love and kindness, which is not separate from compassion and the others as well. And so obviously the wisdom aspect has also the meditation and the morality within there, but predominantly, as I'll repeat, first verse, which I'll mention in a moment, relates to morality or discipline, sila in Pali and Sanskrit, and then meditation aspect, which you can use the word bhavana, or you could even use the word jhana, the practice of meditation and the absorptions you realize as you practice along the way. And then, of course, you have prajna, which is the wisdom aspect. Okay, so I will go into these details later. I think I'll leave it there for the moment. I was going to mention some more, but we will cover these in great detail as mentioned, but I will unveil it slowly. Okay, so today, the first verse says, "This is the work for those who are peaceful, who seek the good. May they be able and upright, honest, of gentle speech and not proud. May they be content and easily supported, unburdened with their senses calmed. May they be wise and not arrogant, and without desire for the possessions of others. May they do nothing mean, or that the wise would reprove." Of course, the word reprove means that the wise people do not approve of that behavior. So they don't engage in the bad behavior like that. Okay, so then, of course, you have the meditation part, which is how we should absorb our mind. May all sentient beings be happy. May they live in safety and joy. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Let no one despise or deceive another being in any state. Let none by anger or hatred wish harm upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless love for all sentient beings. Let one radiate this boundless love throughout the entire world, above and below and in all directions, without hindrance, without ill will, without enmity. That word enmity means unfriendliness, basically. And so this is what we should absorb our mind with. Then the last verse, standing or walking, sitting or lying down, during all of our waking hours, let one remain mindful of this heart and this way of living that is the best in the world. Unattached to speculations, views, and sense desires, such a person will never be reborn in the cycles of suffering. And in the song, I actually added a last line, and forever happy. And the reason I wanted to finish the song with the word happy, because actually you realize that this is the ultimate happiness, isn't it? This is what we call mahasukha, or ultimate joy or bliss. And anyway, so that last verse relates to wisdom predominantly. And so I'll go back now to morality. Our goal here is to realize, or you could say develop and generate, universal loving kindness. The wish that all living beings are happy and have the causes and engage in the causes of happiness. Remember that the causes of happiness are the virtuous states of mind. So basically, you create happiness by having a mind that is free from ignorance. Time for some water. Free from ignorance, attachment, and aversion, and all of the other mental afflictions that cause suffering. So free from that, but also having a mind now that is wise, insightful, non-attached and generous, and loving and kind, compassionate, and giving as well. So these are the causes of happiness. So we're first of all abstaining from the causes of suffering, then having the causes of happiness. This is what we want living beings to have. How is it possible for us to develop a mind like this if we are immoral? If we don't engage in the disciplines of relinquishing the unwholesome states of mind, and also not engaging in the unwholesome actions of body and speech. It's not possible for us to do that. Developing loving kindness. Now, for instance, if we are jealous, then if we're envious of others, then it's not possible for us to be loving and kind towards them. We may be able to force that feeling a little bit, but it won't become natural until we become more moral. And also, you think about morality, once again, the Eightfold Path. Morality includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So obviously abstaining from speaking or having wrong speech. So avoid engaging in lying and slandering, in abusive language or using abusive language, and also gossiping. Instead, speaking to unite people, speaking the truth, speaking good skill and sweetly, you could say, and also speaking with good meaning to develop some understanding and some harmony. I remind you again that we only speak to communicate with others. So let's do so honestly, helping to create some sort of harmony and some nice feeling, and also good meaning. It also helps, actually, you don't have to repeat yourself as much. I think that's quite helpful. You don't have to keep repeating what it is you already know. So sometimes silence is good, isn't it? Because so often when we talk, we're just repeating what we already know, and even maybe trying to impress others or something. But at that time, we are stopping ourselves maybe from learning from others. So we're not hearing the possible wisdom that they could be speaking, or the possible good words with good meaning behind them for helping us to develop this good understanding and harmony and so forth. Okay, so instead we need to, really regulate our speech this way, and then we can work our way towards realizing this true universal love and kindness. Then also, of course, we should avoid killing, avoid harming others, and avoid taking what is not freely given, or stealing from others, taking things from others. Also avoid any harmful activity in our relations with others, whether this be on a sensual, or it's always on a sensual level, but whether this be intimately, physically with another living being, or whether it just be through communicating when we're out there in public and with our family, friends, and even people we don't know. And like I mentioned before, those people that we maybe don't even like. We will come into contact with beings like this often. So we need to, protect ourselves, first of all, by maintaining the wholesome state of mind, relinquishing the unwholesome, and then following through with our actions of body and our speech. Obviously, livelihood, we should engage in a livelihood that it brings benefit, and at very least is harmless. So don't engage in a livelihood that brings harm. So that's basically like an overview of this morality part. We will go into, like I said, all of the details. If you recall, when I just recited that part just before, there's kind of a lot of details there. This is the work for those who are skilled and peaceful, who seek the good. May they be able and upright, honest, of gentle speech, and not proud, and so forth. So we'll actually go into each of those details. And then, of course, let's look at the meditation, absorbing the mind with this universal love and kindness, and all of those details mentioned in the second and third verses. We should obviously utilize this higher training in meditation as well, which includes the 6th, 7th, and 8th aspects of the Eightfold Path. So the effort, or enthusiastic perseverance, making the effort to maintain a wholesome state of mind, relinquish unwholesome states of mind, and also make the effort to practice mindfulness in relation to our body, our physicality, our sensations or mental sensations and feelings, the mind itself, and also the activities of the mind. We should make the great effort to practice mindfulness. So much about mindfulness is letting go of the past, letting go of the future, letting go of our attachments, our aversions, and the like, to live in the present moment as it arises and passes. And then, of course, we should make the effort to develop our concentration. Of course, we have fragmented concentration at the moment, but we can change that. So basically, we have to make the effort to practice this meditation, or utilize the meditation, park the right effort, mindfulness, concentration, to be able to develop then this universal love and kindness. And of course, the last verse relates to the wisdom aspect, which relates to the first and second of the Eightfold Path, the right understanding and the right thoughts. So I know that we're probably about 40 seconds to go, and I will continue this next week with a little bit more of an overview and introduction to this sutra, this precious sutra, and then we will start to go into the more detailed parts later on. I rejoice in your goodness. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya.